Today we're making Halloween decor with Dollar Tree transfers. Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own. Welcome. All right, so these are a bunch of the things we're going to need just overall. Some chalk paints, we're going to need a variety of things that you probably already have, and maybe some things from Dollar Tree. Doesn't have to be exactly like mine, just ideas so that you can make it your own. Love these, I thrifted these, and they're just cups. Yep, and then here are the transfer sheets we're going to be using. This is the first time I found these this year, but I know they've been out for a while now, so you may still have some of these at home. All right, so we're going to do 3 Halloween ornaments. Made a Halloween tree this year, going to make some ornaments. I'm going to use these wood rounds, and I guess you could pretty much get them where you want them, wherever you can find crafting supplies. Mine were thrifted, thankfully. I'm very grateful to have a Goodwill bins near me that people donate. They're so generous with their donations, so I'm glad that I was able to save some money on my supplies. The first one is going to be this little piece here, and I think these look a little, kind of like farmhouse, kind of rustic. If you've never used a transfer, they come with a paper backing, and you just pull the backing off. It's a little bit sticky, but not enough for you to take your hands off, so keep your hands on there. And then I'm just going to use this little stick to push everything down. It has a bigger end and a smaller end. I do not know where I got this from. So you can use a credit card. You can use tools that you get with a Cricut machine. You can buy things like that at the Crafter Square in Dollar Tree. All right. And then after you get your transfer down, you want to rub that backing or the top part back on top of it to really burnish it down. I'm going to be using some jute for this. You see how you can't get this in here? Grab your glue gun, put it on cool temp though. Go with the twirl of the rope, in the same direction that it is wound. And then twist the ends. Now, if you need your finger protectors, put those on. This glue, when it dries, will make it almost like a shoelace, and you can push it right through. Now, if you don't want to use the glue gun, go ahead and just use a little bit of clear tape, regular clear tape, and fix the end of it, and you can poke it right through there. Just going to put a very simple knot on the top. And this is beginner friendly for sure. Okay, we're going to do another one. So I'm going to look to see which ones I like. And I like to cut mine out rather than trying to fool with the entire thing in one piece. I don't know how anybody can do it that way. I'm not that good. Not that good, y'all. I like to cut it off into little pieces that I can easily manipulate and move around. I love the little bats on this. They are so cute. Same process. I'm going to keep holding on to it. I don't want to let go because it may cause the clear plastic to move and it may rip your stencil. If that does happen, you can just lay it back down and then rub it back on there. So carefully and slowly peel that off to make sure that you haven't left any of the coloring down. But I will show you how to fix it because I'm going to goof mine up in a minute. So I'll show you what to do if you do that. I'm going to add a couple of pumpkins on here. And look, like I said, I really want there to be no excuse for a brand new crafter to come to my channel and not find something they can do. So some of these are going to be super simple. So for those of you who have been a little bit longer crafting, have a little more experience, I've got some crafts for you in this video as well. So just hang on and let's be kind to the ones who are new. Okay? I'm going to grab another little jack-o'-lantern and put him on here too. And you can see I'm not putting these on straight. I'm just kind of putting them, I'm angling them, doing them kind of crooked, just to make it playful. But if you want to measure and get yours exactly standing up straight or just use one, you can do that. If you want to paint your background and your wood, you can do that. In fact, I'll show you on the next ornament how you can do that with some markers. Okay, you see how the top came off? I'm going to use a little bit of this territorial beige on a bridge brush that comes with a stencil kit. And I am going to just make a new stem. No problem. You can do that. Same process so that we can make a nice little tight end to push through the opening in that wood round. Right through. And then the knot is really a simple knot. All you have to do is pull your two ends up together, and then we're just going to tie one tie with both of them. Loop it around and push those two pieces or those two ends right through. I'm leaving all this in here so you can see. And then I'm going to slide the knot close to the end, but not, not at the all the way at the end, or it'll slip off when you try to use it. So that's number 2. I'm going to use a maple furniture repair marker and go around, just tracing around one of the rings in this wood slice. This is my preference. You don't have to do this. You can use a regular marker, you can use a paint pen, if you like the effect that this is going to give. Because if this is what you're doing, and if you've invested in maybe a 12-pack of these wood rounds from someplace, Amazon or wherever you get them from, if you get some and you want to use these all, then you can certainly make them all different. And this is just an idea of how you can make it a little bit different so that all of your little ornaments can be unique on your tree. I'm going to put "Hooray for Halloween." It's going to fit on there pretty good. Some of the wood round ornaments that you get are more oval shaped, some of them are more egg shaped. I just grabbed up the one, just a couple of the ones I thought that these would fit on. I love how these have the little, almost like sparkles or stars around them. It looks magical. So I'll press it down with my fingers first because it's a little sticky on the back, so it will, grab just a little bit. And then I'm going to press these down. And you need to be careful when you get close to your edge so that you're not pulling. You want to push but not pull back. You might end up peeling off that top layer, and you don't want to do that. So just push, push, push out when you use it. I hope that makes sense to you. So if you like the look of this one just this way, you can leave it this way. But I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to do a little more coloring. So I'm just going to grab that same exact marker that I used before, and I'm going to almost make it look like it's in a little rounded off rectangle. What is a rounded off rectangle? Does anybody know what that's called? A rounded off rectangle? Yeah. Just coloring it in just to give you an idea, play around with your crafts. It should be fun. It should be fun. It should bring you joy, and it should be exactly how you like it to fit into your own home decor. If it brings you joy, then you did it right. Take into consideration all the different colors you could use. If you wanted to use paint pens, you could do polka dots, anything you like. And here's the same knot again. Loop it over. Poke those ends right through the loop and pull them close to the edge. And there you go. 3 easy ornaments made with Dollar Tree transfers. You can watch my videos on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It's free to subscribe. All right, the next one is a Halloween plaque. Now I'm going to use this sheepskin chalk paint and a paintbrush. I just like the flat ones. This is a piece that I thrifted, but you can get similar pieces at Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to use a sheet of transfers. So this has like a lip or 2 lips on here. That sounds silly. 2 lip. It has 2 little layered beveled edges on it. The top is going to be this sheepskin color, and I'm going to carefully go around with my brush so that I don't get any in the middle section. I want to leave that wood shining through there. I like that wood through there. I love this little kitty by the cauldron. It is so cute to me. So I'm going to use this one. I could have used this one sheet for 1,000 projects, I think, y'all. I really enjoy this sheet. The coloring is beautiful. I'll take the trick or treat off of a different one, so mix and match. Take the backing off. Want to hold it in place, make sure it's in the right place. Gonna rub on that word until I make sure that I'm getting around all the edges, all of the little details, all of it. And sometimes when you're doing this, you'll see that it turns like a grayish color, and that means it's ready to lift it off. You can lift it right off of there. So there's Trick or Treat. And then I've taken the backing off of this one. And we're going to do this to the one that is right on top. Now, on into this video, I'll be skipping some of the parts because I feel like you understand about the, how you put it down and how you keep it in place. But I will show you the reveals on each one of them. Ooh, so pretty. Again, rub that down. Just helps lock it in place, okay? That just gives it a little extra something to keep it in place. I'll take a little skull face, and then I'll take the little poison bottle, or the potion bottle, excuse me. It's not necessarily poison. It could be love potion, couldn't it? I've got a little magic book over here, a spell book. I'm going to put a raven sitting on the book just because I like that, but you don't have to. Put a bat up here in this corner. And you can see we're mixing up from the other transfer sheets and we're adding some things in. I'm just adding other little witchy things because our little kitty looks like a little witch. He's a familiar anyway. Then there's a ghost. I'm going to put that over there. I love the little dots that come with it. Now, to give it more of a rustic look, you can take an emery board or lightly take some sandpaper and rub over the top. And that's going to give it sort of an aged look, like it's been used and loved. I'm also going to go around where I painted up to the edges and just kind of clean those up a little bit. It kind of feathers it or fades it out, and it just, it adds to that aged look, I think. Then I decide to take this pumpkin color and go all around the very bottom bevel in this sign. I won't make you watch the whole thing, but you get the idea. So it's going to be white on top, orange on the bottom, and then the wood tone in the middle, and you'll be able to see that. That's how it looks once it is dry. The next will be a lit haunted house. So this is a little metal house from Dollar Tree. This chalk paint's from Dollar Tree as well, little lights from Dollar Tree as well, and of course our transfers. Now I'm going to add on some of that paint. I do 2 layers, front and back, on this entire sign, or this little house. I do not do it on the wood bottom. I like the wood look, so I'm going to leave that on there. But everything else is going to be darkened up by the beautiful black. If you prefer the galvanized, then you can certainly leave it. All right, and so while that's drying, I'm going to grab the same paint and go over my little candle. I'm just going to hold it by the flame. That's dangerous. You wouldn't want to do that in real life. I'm going to hold it, and then I'll go around the edges and then carefully around the top. This is why I love my little flat brushes, because you can just lay it down and pull the color and keep that flame nice and crisp. Okay, so once it's dry, you can see here that it can't sit there. But I'm going to use a little curved piece of cardboard. It just came out of some packaging that I had, but you can cut a rectangular, whatever you want to use. This was just, I like to use my scrap, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to hot glue that down. It's going to extend the back out just enough that I can have my candle sitting right there. I love it when things come together, y'all. I know y'all do too. Now, to work on this, I'm just going to put it on this roll of tape. That's just a support for me. You can set yours on a book because it won't lay flat. It wouldn't have laid flat even before I put the cardboard on because it has a base on it, right? So you want to elevate it enough that your base is not, so that it will lay flat. I'm going to use these on here, really trying to see how well they will show up despite the fact that you're putting on black, because sometimes with stencils or transfers, you can't see them once you put them on something dark because they're just, the quality isn't there. But I mean, kudos to Dollar Tree because these transfers, I'm happy with these. These are nice. If they would do some on a bigger scale, that would be wonderful. So we can make bigger pieces instead of all these little tiny things. You know, I don't do tiered trays anymore, but some of these crafts that we're doing today, you could certainly put on a tiered tray. Just a little idea for you. Look how nice the orange is still showing up there. And who could leave this little owl sitting there on the backing? No, he had to be used. Absolutely was screaming to be used, or hooting to be used. Yeah, he was hooting to be used. Now I've already used my stick. I know you don't see that part because, like I said, I'm trying to leave some of it out just for time's sake. I know there are a lot of creators who want you to come check them out, and I do not want to use all your time here on my channel. See this? Nice. I think it looks good. And then here's a little light behind it. I'm very happy with that. You could use a bigger candle if you wanted. Flameless, of course. House ornament is going to be the next one. So here's another one for your tree. But we're going to say thank you to our channel members first. Okay, so this is a little frame that I thrifted. I've got a paintbrush that's stiff. I've got some more of that chalk paint and another piece of that cardboard. I'm going to almost dry brush, but a little heavier than a dry brush, all over this frame. I'm going to, I know some of y'all are probably screaming, no, because the frame was beautiful on its own. But for what I'm doing, I'm just going to change it. I have to show y'all, you know, I have to show y'all ways to think outside of the box. You don't have to do it exactly like other people, okay? Now this looks to me more like an aged bronze. And if I hadn't taken the chance on that, I would never have seen that. And that's kind of the thing that I've been going with in my own home this year. So once it is dry, I'm going to grab my little transfer, and this one is gorgeous. It is a haunted house, and it looks Victorian. It's got some turrets and some iron on it. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to put this down. It almost reminds me of the house from Sabrina. I don't know if any of y'all watched that. It's definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it. It kind of reminds me of their house. Okay, so now this is definitely a whole lot lighter. I'm going to brush around all of the edges and across the white of that backing because I want it to be old and spooky looking, like it's a dark gray day outside, or it's really dark in the picture, an old black and white picture maybe. There is a little bit of purple in there. I think maybe on the curtains or somewhere there's a little bit of purple, but not a lot. I'll flip the frame over, and then we'll get that centered in the back. And you can see this is just a scrap piece that I cut off. You have just a second to slide it if you need to when you're using hot glue. Just a second though. And then we're going to make the back look pretty. So I'm just going to color the entire back with the black. If you have felt, you could definitely do some felt on the back, and that would be pretty too. Now, if you had this as a frame with a little kickstand on it, you could definitely stand it up anywhere in your house. But mine actually is an ornament. The frame has the little loop in the top, so I'm going to use it for what it was intended for. And I am going to grab a little piece of this satin ribbon and make a hanger for it. So I've cut it at a slant so that I can kind of pinch it and push it through the ring at the top. And y'all don't worry, I'll go back and fix that gold around the edge, or the brass, whatever color that is. I'm going to fix that, no worries. So I'll trim it just a bit, then I'm going to divide the two pieces, and I'll just glue them on the end. That's going to give us a little way to hang that. But if you have another way that you want to make a hanger, you can certainly do that. Make it your own. And then I'm going to grab this wider satin because I ran out of the other one, the thinner one. And I'm just going to make a little simple shoestring bow. You can see, well, you may not be able to see very well on the black, but you get the idea. If you know how to tie shoestrings, you can do a bow the same way. And I'll just adjust it a little bit and kind of make sure that my loops are about the same size and that they don't overwhelm my frame here. And then you can trim your edges up to whatever size you like. If you cut them a little long after you get your piece together, you can always trim them shorter. And then I'll add some hot glue at the top where we can't see the little loop that is holding the pieces together. And I think this is beautifully Victorian. I love the look of this, and I hope you like it too. The next is going to be a mini riser. All right, so here's that same old paint we've been using. Here's a brush, a little sign that came from something else. We're going to use it again. And then I've got some wood beads and some transfers. I'll be painting this sign this beautiful sheepskin color all the way around the edges. The bottom is not necessary. The top and the edges, and let that dry. One coat was all I needed. I'll add some hot glue and the beads. Now, if you're using wood beads, be sure that they are all the same size so that your riser will sit flat. You don't want it to be kind of cattywampus and, you know what I mean. You don't want it rocking around. You want it to be stable, like your table. All right, now the fun part. Now that we have our little riser, we're going to decorate. Of course, there's another haunted house. And look how cute this is. Yes, we're going to take it off the backing, find our placement where we want to put it. And you know the deal. And here we are after we have got it all pressed down. Slowly peeled that off, varnished it down. Then I'm going to add a spider over here and a ghost over here. I'm going to add some more ghosts to them because I think they're just adorable. So they're going to be flying around the house. Some bats. And look, these bats came from a different page, so they're darker. I want them to look similar, so I'm just going to very lightly go over them with the emery board, and you could also dry brush a little bit of that back color on top of it to make it look faded as well. Now they coordinate. Yes. And look at the little mice that are on one of these. They're so small and cute. So he's going to be the buddy for this ghost. Say they're friendly ghost, and the little mouse is just adorable. Again, with the dry brushing because we want them to be aged. If you don't like this look, you don't have to do this look. If you prefer not to use black, you can use brown for your aging. You can use antiquing wax. Just keep in mind that you don't want to try to glue anything over antiquing wax, nor do you ever want to put a transfer on top of antiquing wax. So I'll go around all the edges. And then just so that this house doesn't look like it's floating, I'm going to brush it on to give some sort of a surface or a yard or a landscape that it is sitting on. Voila. Very cute. Now you can put anything you want. You can use this riser for a flameless candle if you want to, or, put your jewelry on it or whatever you want to do. The next project will be the little witch's hat. So here's a little witch's hat that I had. Came from the same set that has the boo in it. Now this is brushed silver. I am going to use a sponge brush and just put down 3 layers, letting them dry in between. When you're using a metallic paint, be sure, if you want to get a nice smooth look, that you're pulling, once you put your color on, pull it all the way off your surface so that you don't have little chunks and little piles of paint. See? Now I'll take the Trick or Treat and take that piece off. Gonna leave some of those little stars or those little sparkles in there because they look magical. Find whatever placement that you want. Press those down. Now I have seen some creators actually take the page and just put the page on top. So the whole thing is just little bits and pieces of everything, and that is certainly an option if you want to do it that way. I think a spider on a witch's hat is just perfect. I usually put some sort of a spider with my witchy things that I make. And there that one is. And because we don't want her just hanging around in the atmosphere with nothing on it, we're going to make her a little bit of webbing. We'll add some more of these cute little pieces just so that it looks complete there on the bottom, and some on the top. And then I'm just going to give her, the strand, the first strand or piece that hangs down. So she's hanging down from the top of the hat using my metal ruler and an ink pen, but you can use paint if you have a steady hand, or a marker, whatever you want to use. And there's our witch hat. Easy peasy. The next one is going to be a dotted cup. Now this one is actually probably going to be my favorite. I don't know, we'll have to see, because I do like the blocks too, but yeah. So we're going to use the orange, the sheepskin. We're going to use foam little stamper brushes in 2 different sizes. We're going to grab one of those cups, and I'm going to get a piece of this wood, and it's going to fit the bottom. You could always get another piece if you want to make a top, but I didn't want to do that. And you can certainly leave this off if you don't like it. But I'm liking that it feels rustic to me, so I wanted the wood on the bottom. That's what makes me happy and brings me joy, so that's right for me. If it's not right for you, leave it off. Alright, so I'm going to just get some paint on my brush, and we're working on a curved surface, so sit that down. Don't move your brush off of it, but kind of rock it back and forth just a little and pull it straight off. Going to go to the next dot, same process, pull it straight off. That's going to give you a good circle. Now, it's not going to be a perfect circle, of course, but you know, it's going to give you the shape of the brush itself, and that's what you want. We're going to do 4 of these orange dots. You can use a jar from Dollar Tree. You can use any vase from Dollar Tree to do the same thing. You can put more dots on yours. Just let this be your inspiration. Once that is thoroughly dry, I'm going to grab the sheepskin and the smaller brush, and the same thing, I'm going to press it down and kind of not move it, but wiggle it in place to make sure that the paint is distributed around in the middle of each of those. Now, I'm not aiming for exact center of these at all. That is not the point. I want a circle that looks as though it's outlined with orange. Yes. And I like that it is a lighter color here, because the transfers do really look better if you put them on a lighter background. So, but you can do it, you know, whichever way you like. So we're going to let those dry thoroughly. And after they're dry, the fun part, we're going to pick 4 of the transfers, and we're going to use those in the middle of each one of these. This looks like a little party piece to me. Looks like a party piece. You could put some forks or some spoons in here in the middle of your beautiful display and your charcuterie board. It just would look so cute to me. But I wouldn't use it as a drinking glass, and you certainly can't wash it after you have put this down. You'll just have to clean it by using a dry cloth. So there's a spider with a spider web. The little ghosty, the ghost with the most. Cute. And then another one of those adorable little bats. And this is how it's going to look. And I love it. And no, I don't have words on things. I try to get away from the word thing, since I'm not doing the farmhouse anymore. But you can just put a light in there. You can use a bigger candle, but these are plastic, so you know, be safe. Spooky blocks is the next one. Now this is the other one I was talking about that I really, really like, and it might be my favorite. Not sure. I really like a lot of these. Okay, so these are the little block pieces you get at Dollar Tree, the transfers, same paint, brushes, you know. So I am going to show you, I'm just using this sponge brush here because you don't need to, there's nothing precise that has to be done. And if you don't have to be precise, a sponge brush will get the job done, and then you can throw it in the trash. So we're going to do 2 orange and 1 sheepskin. Once they are dry, you can see here they're nice and dry. What I'm looking for is the smoothest little circle on these blocks, the smoothest side, who put them onto. It really doesn't matter, but in the beginning, you know, I had one direction in mind, and then as I was going, I was like, ooh, wait, we can do more. So there's that beautiful vintage looking cat, a little cute ghost, and a pumpkin with some stars. Okay, so this is how they're going to look. Now, I'm going to take that dry brush again, and I'm going to go all over this, all over the transfer and the edges, and it makes that circle kind of stand out. It gives it an aged look, And since these look vintage, I think this is perfect technique for these. Look at that. Now I know I want these to be offset. I don't want these to be stacked up in an exact totem pole. But if you like that, you can do yours that way. I just like mine just at a little angle. Again, making it my own. You do you, boo. I'm going to make mine my own. A little more hot glue. I'm not using wood glue here because it's not necessary for my crafting indoors to use anything like wood glue just because these are wood. Hot glue works perfect for this. Okay, so I started off thinking I was just going to do one row, but then I was like, wait, no, we can do better. So I put one on the top, and then of course we're going to do the same treatment all over any place that we put it. So there it is on the top, and there I am aging it. And then there were so many transfers left, I just knew I had to add more. So there's a skull, and I'm aging it. I'm going to add a raven. Some bats, of course. And so on until I get 3 of the sides done. I'm going to leave the back open. So tell me, y'all, if you've seen transfers at Dollar Tree, am I missing any? Were there any that I did not get? Not stickers, but the actual rub-on transfers. Because if I have to keep going back until October 31st, I will do it. Yeah, I sure will. Because this makes such a big difference. And they're so vintage looking that they're just like perfect. Perfectly spooky, but not scary. You know what I mean? I don't do gory. I'm not into gory. It's still got to be kid friendly. I got kids and a grandbaby, so I got to keep it kid friendly. And even if I didn't, I wouldn't go for anything disgusting. Not my style, but that's okay. I don't judge anybody. You do whatever makes you happy. I'm so happy with this. Y'all, this is cute. You can even drill a hole in the top and make this a candle holder. How adorable would that be? Do a couple of them. That would be so nice. But I really hope you like it because I thoroughly enjoyed myself. The next one is going to be a sparkle candle. This one's super easy. This is another one of those that is extremely beginner friendly. So this candle came from Dollar Tree, and y'all, this is a gorgeous candle. They were in several different colors. There's gold, there was orange, red, might have been a green, but they're really pretty. And I didn't know if this was going to stick down on this glittery surface. So here we go, y'all. I was crossing my fingers and my toes and holding my mouth right. Okay, so now I'm just going to push this down, and actually, this clings onto that glitter surface really well, and this glitter does not shed. In case you're wondering, because a lot of the Dollar Tree stuff does, no, it doesn't shed. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, happy day. Yes, I love that. And you can still see through it. Look at the flickering flame. I mean, that's $1.25, y'all. That wasn't in the plus section. Yeah, go grab these candles while you can. And while you're there, you may as well get some red and green if you can find them, because you know I'm going to be using these at Christmas time if I can find some more. Now I'm going to go all the way around the edge, just tapping this round. Be sure that your glue is dry, or your sealer. I just sealed it because I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't eventually peel off of that glittery surface. So, and then I just aged it a little bit around the edges and the top and around, you know, where the candle's at. Simple. You can do this. The next one is a ghost mini sign. And it's actually a little picture frame. And you see it came from Dollar Tree. It's got a little clip on the top. I'm going to use this little row, or this little trio of pumpkins on the bottom. But I'm going to paint a band across the bottom first. So I'm going to decide how much room I need for my pumpkins. And I will put a little bit of painter's tape down, just trying to make sure, without measuring, that I get this, you know, eyeball it straight. Plenty of room for my pumpkins. So then I'm just going to add on 1 coat of paint with the little pouncer. My little foam thing that we used before, I just used the same one coat. I'm going to peel this off while it's still wet. Look how crisp that is. Let it dry, and then I will put down these cute little triplets. I'm just fooling around with it a little bit to make sure I get the placement I like before I push it down and then press it all into place. And I love this with the combination of the black and that sheepskin color. So pretty. So now we're going to use it on a piece of paper. This is just a piece of like a cardboard backing from some stickers I got from Dollar Tree. It may even be the backing from these transfers. Don't know which one I used, but I save them. I'm going to put it down there, peel the top off, and then I'm going to cut it as close as I can to its edge. I'll leave a little bit because I don't want to cut into the border. So I'd rather have a little bit extra than not enough. And we're going to use that black anyway to go around the edges, so it's going to blend in and you won't be able to see your white edge. Now I'm just going to go over this back and forth, flicking it back and forth. If it's easier for you to lay it on the table and go around the edges, you can. If you want to use, for those of you who've been crafting a while, if you've got those finger daubers and you want to use a little bit of ink, you can do that on here too. All right, I am going to make another bow, same as we did before. For this one, I understand that not everybody has the same style. I think I, more than anybody, knows that. So I try to give you some options. And look, messed up my little edge, so I'm just going to keep cutting until I get it right. Cut it a slant over here too. And then I'm going to grab some of this orange and black and make a little bow with this. You can see it a little bit better on this one, I think, than you can on the black. So I'm just leave a little space there to see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to cut it at a slant as well, and I'm making the loops of the bow a little bit smaller because I'm just going to stack the smaller one on top of the larger one. You have a lot of options of how you can do this, but I'm just going to use this clip simply as a place that will hold my bows and give it a little bit of dimension. I am not going to clip my ghost into there. You can clip it if you want to, but I don't want to do it that way. I'm actually, see, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to glue the little ghost up here in the bow area so I don't, you know, it just looks like he would be uncomfortable with a clamp on his forehead. So we're going to just let him float over here on the bows. That looks a little bit better. I think he's happy here. He's happy here, yeah. Hanging out with his little pumpkin friends. Now, look, now it's a little picture. And here it is, looking all cute. Freely able to move around and fly away if she wishes to. Okay, so here are the lovely pieces. 12. We did 12 projects in this video using 3 sheets of Dollar Tree transfers. And y'all, I still have transfers left. Still have plenty left for other projects. Think of all the things you can do. Think of last minute stuff. Think of gifts for people who just live that spooky life. Think of your kids' bedrooms. Maybe they just want a little something to celebrate and to decorate their bedroom. Look at how these could be used. So easy. I've got them all displayed for you here. If you enjoyed it, you can give me a thumbs up. It helps me know to continue. And if you subscribe to the channel, you can do that for free. If you would like to become a member and help support the channel, you can find that information in the description box below. We would love to have you there. If you're going to try any of these, which one do you think that you would try? I know not everybody can find the transfers, and I know not everybody can get, you know, the same pieces that I have because I have a lot of things that I've thrifted. But think of all the things that you could use. How could you do it? I know those little small ornaments, the little small frames, you can find stuff like that at Dollar Tree for sure. Wood plaques you can find at Dollar Tree. And you can even get wood rounds at Dollar Tree now. They may not be the best bargain, but if you're just going to use a few, then, you might give it a shot. I just don't want to hear anybody say they can't do it. You can do this. You can do it. You can make it your own, and you can be happy about it. Don't doubt yourself, and don't compare yourself to other people. It's a terrible thing to do. No two of us are exactly alike. Even identical twins are not exactly alike. So don't put that kind of pressure on yourself, okay? I love you guys. I love that you stop by. I love that you leave me wonderful comments and that we chat away all the time. I thank you for stopping by today, and I'm going to see you again very, very soon. Bye.